Hi, and thank you for tuning in to the latest Hurricane Tracker app video update recorded Sunday, August 21st, 2016 at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Well, thank you once again for tuning in as we have a lot going on in the tropics. It appears we're going to be busy watching, especially the Atlantic Basin here over the next week to 2 weeks. But starting over in the Eastern Pacific, we're still tracking Tropical Storm K. It's expected to continue west northwest and weaken. Does not pose any issues to southwest Mexico. Tropical Storm Fiona will be weakening to a depression here over the next couple of days as it gets a little closer to Bermuda. We have newly designated Invest 90L, which is poised to become the next named tropical system in the Atlantic, which will be Tropical Storm Gaston early this week, and likely even the next hurricane here in this Atlantic season. Today's video, we're going to be focusing on Invest 99L as it has the potential to possibly threaten some portions of the Western Basin in about a week. And so we're going to take an in-depth look at that. First, let's start off with Tropical Storm Fiona. Fiona is still a tropical storm with winds of 40 miles per hour. It's moving towards the west northwest. And as we get into the day tomorrow, we expect Fiona to begin to weaken to a tropical depression. That may even happen as early as later tonight. And then the remnant low should be near Bermuda, but nothing more than some squally weather, gusty breezes, along with some rain showers. If we put the satellite loop into motion, you can see early this morning the center of Fiona was exposed as most of the convection was blown off towards the east, but throughout the day today, it's been able to reorganize some convection near the center, and I do expect possibly overnight the same thing to happen. Those storms could be blown off to the east due to the wind shear that is above the system. The official outlook from the National Hurricane Center issued at 2 p.m. today shows Invest 90L with a very high chance of development here over the eastern Atlantic. And again, within a couple days, we'll possibly have Tropical Storm Gaston. And then once it gets into the central Atlantic, just about all of the computer model guidance develops this into a strong hurricane. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on. At this time, it does not appear that it would get into the western part of the basin, but that is a long-term forecast. And as we've seen with Invest 99L, you have to keep an eye on these systems as long-term guidance is not very reliable. Speaking of Invest 99L, it right now has an officially a 40% chance of development in the medium category. We don't really expect it to develop in the next few days as it approaches the islands, but once it begins to enter the near the southeastern Bahamas, north of Cuba and Hispaniola, the environmental conditions may become a little more favorable. Here at the Hurricane Tracker app, as of the outlook we issued this morning, we saw a 40% chance it could become a depression, 30% chance of a named storm, and a very, very low chance that it could become a hurricane. But after reviewing the afternoon model guidance, which just came in over the last couple of hours, if it is now showing a possibly stronger system somewhere near the Bahamas in about a week. So we may have to adjust our outlook back up a little bit, but we don't want to do that in response to one set of models. We want to look at the models, look at the next set, and see if this is a trend, if all the models continue to trend back towards development. So that's something we're going to be keeping a close eye on here over the coming days. Many of you have asked us on Twitter, why hasn't this system organized? Ever since this system came off Africa, everyone has noted it's had such a great structure. And if you look at the visible satellite today, it does have a great structure. Although it's very broad, it does have a nice cyclonic vorticity. It's just lacking any deep thunderstorms or convection. And the reason for that is the atmospheric humidity values, especially to the north and west of the storm and even in around Fiona, are in the 5 to 10% range. That is very, very low, and it's very hard for these systems to organize, if they are ingesting in this dry air. And again, that's another reason why we expect Fiona to weaken and fizzle out here over the Atlantic. So as I mentioned, many of you have been following along. We've been posting the model runs as they've been coming out every 6 hours. we don't have time in the video to look at the GFS, the UK Met, and the other runs, but I want to focus on the European. And what we're looking here at this on these images is the 850 millibar vorticity at around 6,000 feet, the amount of spin in the atmosphere, and it also can give some indication as to the possible steering flow. And a couple of days ago, the European wasn't showing much, and then yesterday it was showing a little stronger system as it was moving towards the west northwest. And then early today, it was just showing strung out vorticity, nothing really organized. And then the run from just a couple of hours ago is now showing a little more defined system. And the images aren't displayed here, but it eventually strengthens this into Tropical Storm Hermine and then pushes it across Florida and tries to get into the eastern Gulf. So definitely the Euro is trending back towards development. What is also notable, the last few model runs are showing a possible high pressure ridge setting up over the southeastern United States. If that were to verify, if we do have a developing system here in the Bahamas, it would likely push it west into Florida and possibly even into the Gulf Coast. So that's what we're going to be monitoring very closely over the next several set of model runs. But again, that's only one set of runs that have trended back towards development and possible impacts towards the southeastern United States coast. So right now, we're not going to change our outlook on possible cone. We issued this morning. We expect this system to stay in invest all the way through Wednesday as it approaches the northeastern Caribbean Sea. Possibly would open back up into a wave. And then beyond this outlook, it's in this region where environmental conditions could become a lot more conducive for this to strengthen into a possible depression or tropical storm and track generally towards the southeastern United States coast. But again, that's a long-term forecast. That's a long-term outlook. We're not forecasting that at this point, and we still have a long ways to go and many, many model runs to get through. But if you're looking at the overall setup, as I stated a few moments ago, models are trending as we're getting closer in time. Models are trending on developing a high pressure ridge over the southeastern United States with lowering pressures here just to the south of the ridge. And again, if this were to verify, this system would track west towards Florida, possibly even into the eastern Gulf. Water temperatures near and around the Bahamas are in the 84 to 86 degree range, which is very warm, and that could provide some fuel to any system that would be trying to organize in that region. We've issued low alert levels for portions of the Caribbean Sea as the system tracks through. Just some gusty winds, squally weather, nothing out of the ordinary. Again, I'd say less than a 5% chance that we have a tropical storm plowing through the region here towards the middle part of the week. Invest 90L, I'm going to show you a satellite loop on that system. Much more convection and much more moist environment associated with this system. And again, within 2, 3, 4 days, we expect this to become a tropical storm as it tracks out into the open Atlantic. Thanks again for watching. If you want to check out our Hurricane Tracker app where you can follow all of this in real time, please take a look at it at www.hurtracker.com. We will be back with another video update as conditions warrant. Continue to follow our Twitter at Tracker app as we will continue to post the latest models. And again, could continue to be a roller coaster ride as we have lots of time and lots of model runs to go, and the windshield wipers may be in full force. Thanks for watching and enjoy your Sunday evening.